on Mumbai local trains. Well, for the ones who do not know how Mumbai local trains function, let me show you a short video about the same.
Kisha, Tilak, I'm not sure, but I think your slides are lagging. So is it from your end or our end? I'm not sure.
Should I? Do you want me to play the video again, or?
Yeah,
Is
we
it
can try
possible
again.
if you could send it to like replay the share screen?
Okay, sure, I'll do that. Hello. Okay, so I'll share the video with Mrs. Dimple Mehta, and maybe she can just forward it on the group later.
Sure,
So,
I'll do that.
so basically, there are, it's crazy madness. You can never find a place in the Mumbai local trains for hours and hours waiting at the station, and that was my first time in the Mumbai local trains. Till now, all I had traveled in was an AC car. Well, all I'm trying to say here, as this is a drastic change that I had to go through, and that is when I learned that everything that a man wants is just one step outside his comfort zone. From traveling into the in Mumbai local trains to understanding those train routes, me and the Dabbawalas became lassi buddies. That is when I sat with them and I used to interact with most of them personally, and I shared with them how collaborating with papers and parcels would benefit them. But they were very interested in this idea. But my age tag of being, but my
Tilak, we can hear.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, so again, my age tag of being 13 ruined it all. For them, it was just another vague idea coming out of the mouth of a 13-year-old. But while I was dreaming of going back to my ordinary school life, the Dabbawalas lent a hand forward and were ready to get on board with us. And they later told me that it was my dedication, sincerity, and commitment to my work during those 15 days when I traveled with them that made them change their mind. Well, the challenge streak had just begun, and there was no stopping them now. The algorithm, manpower, training, operations, and my school assignments, test, and schedule. It went on and on. And to be honest, there were days when I felt like giving up. And sometimes I also felt that I was being over ambitious and trying to do something that even multinational companies couldn't do within the city of Mumbai. And that is when my father told me, each level in the video game gets difficult than the previous one, life is the same. And even in life and in this business journey, each phase is going to get a little more challenging and difficult than the previous one. But in the end, the only thing that is going to matter is the results that you get on the table and not the reasons that you give to the world. Well, I remember we used to have team meetings after my school hours that started 11 a.m. in the night to 5 a.m. in the morning, where we had this trend as to whosoever sleeps during the meeting gets a picture clicked of himself. And I proudly say that I myself have more pictures clicked than the entire team collectively. On the 18th of July 2018 was the launch of my company, Papers and Parcels, with a tagline that said same day pickup, same day delivery, as I had aimed for. And this was the first time I was facing so much media all at once. Well, in that case, even media, this was the first time I was facing media in my life. The press conference fortunately went well and the media did its job. Soon, everyone started to get to know about papers and parcels. People started moving their deliveries towards us. But most importantly, the people who require these services more than others and who did not have any other option got an option now. And okay, so overall, of course, we got a great response and support from all the Mumbaikars, and our commitment towards a job started to establish a brand name among the people of Mumbai. Well, soon everybody got to know about what Papers and Parcels is. And while we were putting our hearts and souls to commit to the promises we made to our clients, there were firms being impressed by our work and were taking deep interest into what Papers and Parcels did. Soon, we started getting emails and inquiries for investment and acquisition. And I stand here proudly to say that in February 2020, my first business venture, my first startup of Papers and Parcels was acquired by a multinational company within just 2 years since its launch. This entire journey has been so memorable for me, and of course the learnings that I'm going to carry with myself entire lifelong. Well, a journey of aiming for 100 crore started with one small problem of forgetting my books at my uncle's place. Well, this made me learn this one important thing, that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. This one crucial decision of mine is what today transformed me from a 13-year-old ordinary boy to a 13-year-old entrepreneur. Well, today, when I started Papers and Parcels, my intention never was to be on the Forbes panel with renowned people like Rifat, Harsh, and Mr. Ronnie Screwwala, nor was it to be a TEDx speaker or the youngest entrepreneur or a global child prodigy. My only aim was to bring a solution to the problem that had been overlooked forever, and the rest was just the byproduct. But towards the end, I'm going to leave all of you with just one line and one thought, which I'm sure you have heard before, but now will understand the meaning of. सक्सेस के पीछे मत भागो, एक्सीलेंस के पीछे भागो. सक्सेस झक मार के तुम्हारे पीछे आएगी. Meaning that don't aim for success. Aim for excellence in what you do, and success will come finding you. Thank you.
Very encouraging, Tilak. Extremely encouraging. Really enjoyed the last line. And yeah, you said it definitely makes sense now. And to all these young kids who are watching him, I would really, really, really encourage you to make this your goal, that let success be the important part of doing whatever that, sorry, my bad, let excellence be the important part of whatever you're trying to achieve, and success has to follow. Thank you so much, Tilak. Dimple, I would
Yeah.
come to you.
Yes, I agree with Kinjal. The story is so inspiring, and I'm sure it will help our kids, to learn from you. And your journey to your goal is very interesting. Thank you, Tilak. And now we are going to round off tonight with our Q&A session. If anyone has any questions for Harsh, Rifat, Tilak, either individually or overall, feel free to unmute or type in the chat, and we can start our Q&A now.
Yes, Nishka, do you have a question?
I have a question for the last speaker.
Tilak Mehta. Nishka, you're on mute. Yeah, please.
Oh, okay, sorry. So my question was like, I'm sure you kind of already said this, but like just asking in more depth, like was the process like crucial of getting like the thing started, and like was it like really hard and time consuming, and like how were you also able to focus on your like studies while like working on such a successful and like booming business?
Thank you so much for that question. So I'm frequently asked as to if I was able to manage my school and business together. Yes, as I said, that was one of my biggest challenges during that time, because I could not compromise on my education, because of course many people say that education is not important and give you examples of Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, but what I really believe is if I drop out of education, I'm going to end up nowhere but McDonald's. So yes, I had to manage my education and business altogether. So time management was the key here. I had to prioritize my business and my business and education from time to time. When I had my exams, of course, I had to shift a little more focus towards education, and during my free time, I ensured I give it my all to towards my business. So yes, that was a challenge, but I would like to say that my mom had been really supportive during that time, and my entire family for that matter, and unfortunately.
You're on mute.
Any more questions?
So, Tilak, can you hear me, Tilak? This is Monica.
Yes, I can hear you, ma'am.
Have you found any other problem now that your company is already sold? What's the next problem that you're going to solve?
Well, the next problem that I'm going to solve is my board exams. And right after that, well, I strongly believe the human brain never stops working. And I really wish to come up with a more innovative and something more extraordinary, just the way I did with papers and parcels very soon.
All the very best for that. And I have a question for the second speaker. I'm sorry, I didn't get the name.
Rifat.
Rifad. Yeah, so Rifad, you said you were part of RF communications department. Can you explain that a little bit? What is it?
I'm the head of communications because in satellites we have to send wireless signals for more than 2,500 to 3,000 kilometers in case of lower Earth orbit satellites. If it is geostationary satellites, the signals has to be sent over 36,000 kilometers. But the limit of power, the power is very limited. With the solar panels, is as same as your smartwatch. So we create ultra efficient, low power transmitters. We work with low power, ultra efficient transmitters, which can send signal from space to Earth for data for the telemetry and telecommand. If you have any particular question about RF, you can ask me, I can answer.
No, I think that's good. That I don't know too much, so that's good.
We have a couple of questions on the chat. I'm not sure. I think it's common question for all three of you. If you can just go through them. Let's start with the first question. It's from Keisha. Okay, well. Okay, Keisha has a question for all speakers. What was the creative process behind your prototypes business ideas?
I would say you have to go for it. Like whenever you get an idea, you can't just sit and think about the idea all the time. What does the what happens during getting an idea is first you'll get an idea, you'll think, oh, awesome it is. Then you'll go like, will it work? And after some time you'll be like, no, it's not going to work. And then you'll just pass on to other work. So whenever you get an idea, as soon as possible, start materializing it. Start developing a prototype. Whenever I get an idea of a satellite architecture or satellite bus, I'll go, I'll take a paper, I will create a paper craft out of it. That is my first process. I'll create a paper craft and I'll put it on my table. So whenever daily I come to my office, that design will be sitting on my desk, not the CAD model, because CAD model, you'll create it and you'll put it in some drive folder and you won't even find it for years. And when you're cleaning your computer, you'll find it. Create a physical model and put it on your table. If it is a business idea, that you have to, start at least a small bit. You write it and stick it somewhere, somewhere, which somewhere, something which can constantly remind that you are going to do. So that would be the first prototype idea which you have to do. Other speakers, please continue.
Harsh, we would like to hear your
Yeah.
views on that.
Yeah, thank you. So I completely agree with what Rifat said. It really matters when you start executing things. Uh, we always require a plan to do stuff, but what I truly believe is when you start working on something, you will somehow find the way to get started. And it always matters the most to start the thing. So the starting of the execution is really what it requires. And if you talk about the creative process, you have to think about the vision that you want to achieve, the goal that you want to reach, and you have to really think from the perspective of your end user, like what kind of solution will be better for the problem that we are solving. And that is the most like personal opinion from myself. That is what requires for someone to get started in whichever idea they want to work in. Yes.
Okay. So I think Rifat and Harsh both, I agree with what both of them said. But adding one important thing that I believe is the most creative process behind, be it their prototype or their business idea. It is a creative brain that you need and nothing else. The rest will just follow.
Keisha.
Dimple, you're on mute.
Okay. Yeah. We are exceeding our time frame, but if you guys are okay, can we just continue with our few more questions? Tilak, Harsh, and Rifat, is it okay? 10 more minutes for you all?
Yeah,
Definitely.
sure. No
Oh,
worries.
sure.
Okay, so I think there are like 4 or 5 questions. We will go
Nishka, do
with.
you have a question? Yeah.
I have one for the second speaker and then one for the first. My first one for the second speaker is that when you were like 4 or like 5, when you started like learning how to code on computers, like what type of language did you learn on coding? And like, was it hard for you?
So I started with QBasic, that is the basic ABCD of programming language. It was not on a Windows computer. If you are into retro computer, you may know about the computers like Commodore 64, Atari, and all those old stuff. So it was my dad's old computer. I started with basic. It was not QBasic. It was just basic. Then I moved on to QBasic once I got a Windows powered computer.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
My question for the first speaker is that when you were building the prototype for your drone, or like when you were just kind of doing it and like planning it out, for the parts of the drone, like did you like get it from like a junkyard, or like did you have to like custom build the parts, and like how was it like a hard process to get the certain parts that you needed and like to architect the whole entire drone?
Yeah, that's a nice question. Actually, building a drone was sort of challenge at that time because at that time drones were not that really used to things. So no, I was not finding parts from the junkyard. I was truly want to get the parts that we can buy from a Radio Shack or something like that. But in India at that time, drones were not that famous, I would say. And 95% of the parts I have to import from outside the country. And this is what I did. basically to start off my journey with drones, because the parts which I was getting in India from different cities like Bangalore and Mumbai was not that sufficient and up to date with the things which I wanted to build. But drones are the simple thing. Nowadays, anyone can make drones. I would not probably say drone is something really science or something like that. But yes, it requires a lot of aeronautics. You have to check the algorithms, maneuvers, and it always comes with the application that you want to solve. In our case, we detect landmines, we destroy it. So we are specializing in the technology side rather than reinventing the wheels in the drone part. And but though we design the entire drone and we develop it ourselves so that we match up with our requirements and we integrate it well with our technology. I hope
Uh,
that satisfied your question.
yeah, that explained my question. Also, just another quick question. If you haven't
Yes,
watched the movie, then you don't have to answer. But was building your drone a little bit hard, like how Mission Mango was? Like, when they had like problems, they had to face those
please.
problems. Was it kind of like that?
Yes, indeed. Like as I told, two of my prototypes failed. Many of them crashed, and it requires a lot of efforts that you want to fill in. Many times the speed controller burns up. You get fire. It catches fires really quickly because there are many amps of current flowing around. You have to work around with lithium polymer batteries and many dangerous things involved. So not only the failure or crashing thing, but yes, it's a an evolving process. So you have to keep working on that, and you have to find the right solution to get your things done. Because when you change the payload, when you change certain parameters of the drone, it changes the entire thing altogether. So yes, it is a very tidy process and one requires a lot of efforts to put day and night. And it's not in only this one, but in any engineering field or anything comes R&D, it requires a lot of trials and errors altogether. Yeah,
Okay, thank you so much.
thank you.
Okay, I'll just go with your like few more question and then we can conclude this meeting. Another question is from Pashmi Rajput. Her question is for all three of you. Have you ever thought of writing any books on your journey? We can start with Tilak and then Harsh and Rifat so that we can go it quickly.
Okay, so as yet, I haven't yet, really thought of writing a book of my own journey. But there are several authors that have written a book on me. The latest one that is so one of the chapters in their books, like The Life of Zed, that's one of the books where the writer has written about my journey with papers and parcels. But maybe in the future, once I have done enough to, write a book about it, maybe I'll think about the same.
How about you, Harsh?
Yeah, I never thought about this, but yes, I really love reading books. I think, yes, soon I'll share my insights with the experiences that I had and the problems that I faced. So one can really solve their problems and put things together before starting in a new venture or something like that. But I never really thought of doing it right now, but sooner or later I will be doing that.
Rifat?
Yeah, my case is just like Tilak's one. I didn't had enough time yet to write a book about myself or my team, but there is a book about our team and our journey of creating the Kalam set. I have given the link to the book in the comment section. You can go through it.
Okay. Now, there's a question for Harsh from Samayu Suryavanshi. She's asking for a recommendation for any drone books and research you did to learn, to start this learning.
Okay, so most of the things which I learned is from a book called Drone and Aeronautical's Journey or something like that. But what I really prefer in today's time is to go search on Google. You can find many videos nowadays on YouTube. So what I really feel is rather than reading books and learning from very scratch, I would suggest that you start doing it by visually seeing the things, how the drone works, the aerodynamics, maneuvers, from any good YouTube videos. And I would recommend any good science channel, including Vsauce or the one which I just really forgot. But there are many good ways you can find it on YouTube. There are channels like Flight Test, and you can start journey and like by learning it and by really seeing how it all works from the basics.
Another question from Malar Mani. It's for all three of you. Where did you guys study? Do you think studying in a good school or college does matter for your success? Very interesting question. So whoever has the answer.
Yes. So, like if I start from myself, I studied from the kindergarten to my 10th board in a Gujarat board, Gujarati medium school, and where the English as a subject starts from the standard seventh. So it really doesn't matter. At that time, the school is a very small, little but modest school, and there are no such technological thing. They never speak about electronics. They never speak about anything related to technology, but it always matters when you as a person wants to do something. Your school, college, yes, it influences a bit, but it is not a constraint, or it is not, it should not be your obstacle to start working on anything else. But yes, if a school or college is good enough to support, that would boost your journey, and that would help somehow in your journey in the long
Yeah, I would
Okay.
go with the same answer as Harshworth.
run.
Okay, so I strongly believe with what Harsh said. Like again, even I'm not in the best school of Mumbai, and I also have a friend who is in the best school of Mumbai. And I strongly believe it is not the school that really matters, but it is the exposure that really matters over the education that you get. And of course, agreeing with what Harsh said, your willingness, your own passion towards what you want to do, and that is what matters most about anything else.
I'd like to add one thing. Like the schools or colleges, that doesn't matter. But the ecosystem where the kids grow up, that really does matter. Like, what is the situation? What is the condition of living, and what they are surrounded by? That really does matter. So, it is not about just the school. It is about the ecosystem parents are creating for their kids at their own home.
That's a
Nice.
very valid point. It is definitely something to consider. The next question is, what kind of mentors did you have throughout your process? It's for all the three speakers, please.
Mentors, like in the case of mentors, I want to be honest, because being in the space industry, it's very hard to get mentors. Most of the mentors, they'll be from the government agencies like ISRO, NASA, who are under the NDA agreement, so they can't share that much detail about what exactly. People can teach, even in the like Harsh told, even in YouTube, like people can say theoretically about what is space, what is satellite and everything, but to get the practical detail, like how to cook a pasta kind of recipe for satellite in space industry, it's very hard. So I really had a hard time finding the right mentors. But we do, eventually, once you start working on it, and you have to go with something. That There is a channel called Vertasium, and he posted a video yesterday that how he got into YouTube. So he initially first made a video and then presented that to one of the video producers, so he got the opportunity. So in space, you cannot go and ask for the mentors. First, you have to make something, not just in space, everywhere. First, you have to make something. And when you're going to ask help from someone, you have to show that what you have already made. Then only mentors will help you. If you Because we ourselves, at least get 20 mails every day for mentorship and other helps, but possibly like 1,000 mails in a year, but we cannot help everyone. What we'll say is the people who already made something, so we can help them better. So if you are looking for mentorship, go and build something yourself first, and then present to the mentors. You'll definitely get the best help.
Yes. Yeah, I
And
agree with that point. Actually, like when I started, I was finding a mentor, but it was really hard to get a mentor. And like the work which I was doing, detecting landmines and stuff, it was really hard to see how things work. And to detect the plastic landmines is also a very difficult task. So like I have self-learned all the technologies which I was building. My father is an accountant, so they cannot help me to certain points, and we don't have any engineers in home as well, so that I can ask for their help. So it was like uh, challenging, but it really matters when you start working on something and you build something by your own. And like you can self mentor yourself for the most of time, and then you can find a mentor. I still haven't got any mentor for this technological field, but we do have mentors for operations, business, and stuff like that. And I'm confident enough in technology, so I don't think so that is a constraint which is a lack for what I'm building. Yeah.
yeah, so it's 8:15 now, and we have exceeded our time, and there are many more questions to ask. So I will just go with the last question. Reena has asked, and which I also had the same question in my mind. How did you keep yourself motivated in the face of any setbacks you hit along the way? It's for all three of you, and then we will conclude the night. And for other questions, what we can do is we can, I'll check with these speakers, get the answers for you all, and then put down in Facebook and our WhatsApp group and everywhere. So questions will be answered for sure. But for now, we will just have this last question. Thank you all for your patience. So again, the question was, how did you keep yourself motivated in the face of any setbacks you hit along the way?
Yeah. So there are many setbacks you one will face while working in any kind of technology or anything in life. It really matters the most when you have self motivation, and how you will get the self motivation is always hidden behind your goal, behind your vision and the purpose you want to achieve. If your problem that you are solving is that strong enough that it keeps you awake at the night, whatever comebacks happen, setback happens, it really helps us to stay motivated and stay strong, dedicatedly working on whatever that we are building. And for me personally, that is the problem that I'm solving, and which keeps me motivated, because I felt a lot of discouragement. I faced multiple challenges, bullying and stuff like that, and that is not happened only to me. It happens to all of them who want to do something, and it's a common fundamental for anyone who wants to build something unique or something rather more difficult. So yeah, that is the way you can stay motivated.
Yeah, for me, there are two kind of situations. First is like when people demotivate you, and when things go wrong technically. Two types. So the first one is, it is not the passion; it is the obsession we have for our industry. We are, it's not passion, we are obsessed with what we do. Whatever people say, we can't hear it. When people say which is in accordance to our interest, we will accept it. If people say demotivate us, we won't even listen it, because we are obsessed with what we are doing. And second one is, I don't want this to be like motivational, but rather practical, because we all are human beings, and at some point of time we all feel like we are lost and we are left down like that. So if some problem occurs, and I'll be like, what I can do next, practically what I can do next, can I go and start something new? That is the option, right? Life has to move on. So the practical option is, if something went wrong, some project went wrong, I have option. I can continue on it or I can close it and start another thing new. I'll be like, okay, I already started this project. I'm already tired with it. So instead of starting something new, I better work, more time on this and finish this itself, this project itself. So I'll be like more practical point of view. If failure happens, it has to move on and there has to be some way. So sometimes you feel demotivated, but still you have to work because you want to finish the project. After finishing the project, you'll automatically get that energy back. So that is my point of view.
Okay. So, well, of course, again, I agree with what Rifat and Harsh said. But as Rifat, so many times when you're trying to do something new, something unique that no one has ever done before, you will have your highs and lows. But the one thing that always kept me motivated during this journey, I remember before I even started the execution, my father and I were walking down the road, and he told me, this venture can either make you a hero or make you a zero. It is up to you how you take it. It is in your hands what you want to be. So this one line always comes in my mind whenever I feel like giving up. And of course, many people try to pull you down, be it for any reason. But I've always believed in this one thing: take the stones people throw at you and use them to build a monument. That's what has always kept me motivated. And one last thing, when people actually criticize you for what you're doing, for me that was an indication that I'm going to the right path. So because yeah, so that's about it. Because knowing that people are talking about you and are trying to interfere with what you're doing, that is nothing but an indication for you that you're going on the right path. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you all. I know that this night has been very inspiring for all of us, especially the kids. And I'd like to extend our sincere gratitude to everyone here for joining us, and a warm thank you from WIPA family to Harsh, Rifat, and Tilak. I know you guys are extremely busy and demanding schedules, and we are so grateful that you guys were able to speak to us. Once again, thank you all. It was so good to see you all, and I hope you guys have a great weekend ahead. And Kinjal and Shweta, would you like to add something?
I would just like to add that thanks Dimple for putting this together. It was extremely inspiring. It's like for me at this age also, I feel I have drawn some inspiration from these young kids that if you are obsessed or if you have a passion to achieve something, don't let anything come in your way. Just go out there and like achieve it. Thank you so much. And Yeah, I'm sure the kids who have been who have heard you guys today will definitely take back a lot of learning from this. And I wish that they all can achieve whatever they have been looking for, and wish that all three of you also achieve greater heights in life and make us proud as knowing someone as amazing as you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us, and thank you everyone who joined us today for this meeting. It really meant a lot.
I like to add one thing. Harshvardhan, Tilak, and Rifat, it's like an opportunity today given by Dimple to all of us to know you, know your journey, and how down to earth you guys are at this young age. You achieve a lot, and it makes us also feel that we have to be down to the earth and have to learn to network and not to give up our dreams. So, like, you gave me a goal, and you guys all three, like one after another, we hear your story. And one thing is, yes, your support, your goal, you wanted to do something in your life and you never give up. But your journey, what you explained to us and the kids, it's very touching, and it's put a deep impact on our brain. So really, thank you for sharing. I really wanted to thank you for behalf of every one of us. Really, thank you.
And also, I should mention this, that this was such a like short notice given to these three speakers. I think I approached them on Wednesday, and here we are on Friday. They were all set. Of course, they did not need any rehearsal, but because they are reputable speakers, but still, I mean, they were ready to go for it. I mean, really honored and appreciate a lot. Thank you all, and yes, here we conclude our night. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
For
Thank
having
you
us here.
guys, and a very good night and a good morning to you guys there in India. All right. See See you all soon.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Have a good weekend, everyone. Bye.
Bye. See you.
Bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Maybe we just end the meeting, or Dimple is ending the meeting.